Okay, so
Yep.
we made an AI medical assistant for a doctor that takes patient symptoms and it runs through something called the Merck Manual, which is a very comprehensive and credible book of 4,000 pages by the Merck Pharma Company. And it provides a well structured, accurate, and fast decision making for diagnosis, and it provides a sort of cognitive offloading for doctors. This is more reliable than your regular Google searches or ChatGPT and other AI chatbots. We used the open source model, language model Olama. We locally used this model which ensures data privacy. So the data that is entered in the chat is not going anywhere. It's cost efficient, and we can add more resources. We can make changes to the local data set that we have. We also included RAG in case Merck manual is not successful in giving us a solution.
So let me explain you about the tag thing. So very first thing, she said most of the thing, but why we made the system is like we as a human doesn't retain all of the things most of the time. And just imagine if you are going to the medical practitioner and you say that I have nausea or vomiting, and he says just take a paracetamol. Wouldn't be that terrible, right? So what we have done is we made the system totally you can say local based LLM. So why we made a local based LLM, I will also go on to that point. So the main purpose is that the newly doctors, or maybe you can say the newly practitioners, always hesitate to start with the thing, right? So maybe they are calling the seniors, or maybe they want some assistance, and they need someone to prepare the things like the testing, what kind of test to be taken out, what symptoms are there, and what medication one should prescribe, right? So as she mentions, we are using a really credible book because we know that LLMs usually deviates from the actual context because there are a lot of hallucinations. So to fix that, we are using the RAG-based model, which always doesn't deviate from the main context. And for the local LLMs, we are using the Gamma 3 by using Olama. So we are running this local model, plus we are also embedding the text using the local embedding system, same that running on the Olama. So here is like the front page. You can say the front user interface. We make it very simplistic for anyone who wants to use and doctor or who is very beginner, right? So he will put some text. Can we go on the notes where?
Yeah, there's some like prompts. I'll just go.
So there's the simple prompt where this patient is describing his pain to this doctor, and although the doctor has a good knowledge base, but if he has assistance with him or with her, he can confidently diagnose the things in much better way. So here is like patient has severe diarrhea, headache, and nausea. A treatment plan is required, giving the potential cause and test to be done. So it gives a very structured answer, which not only cross-verify the doctor's knowledge, but it also gives in very structured manner that increases the efficiency of the decision making. Plus, it also gives you, you can say like doctor, just like a tag gig can copy paste the things and can put it into the doc file. So that can help to maintain the repository of the patient history, but also what treatment they have done for the patient. So it gives very well structured manner, and we are also planning for the future integration where we can enrich the resources on the RAG-based model. Plus, we are also in future we try to integrate like speech to text model where this doctor and patient can have a close conversation within the controlled area. where this text and where the speech will get recorded, and that recorded speech will get into text, and it will give you a well-structured output, like the diagnosis, the treatment, and also maintaining the overall history of the patient record. So everything will be automated, so the doctor don't have to put all this system or all this, you can say, the work into the databases. So it increases the efficiency, and also second thing, it also reduces the waiting time for all the other patients who are actually waiting for things to get sorted. So yeah, that's all.
I just want to mention, we also gave emergency warning in case of like some symptoms which are very severe, or things like suicidal ideation. We also have a medical disclaimer for ethics. I mean, saying that this is an AI. Do not trust it for all treatment plans without consulting a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, and hi everyone, I'm Sam. I just want to clarify the source of knowledge. So the Merck's diagnosis of manual and therapy isn't just any source. So with this source, the very first revision was in 1899. And since then, it was always constantly being revised. So what we see is over 100 years of distilled knowledge just in this manual. And it's based on the Merck pharmaceutical company, which generated 65 billion worth of revenue last year. And this company has 75,000 employees all around the world. And the manual as well has been translated to 17 languages. Imagine. Not only that, but this manual, there's also a simplified home handbook edition, which isn't that technical, but this is mostly for doctors. So this is our source, our reference. Thanks.
Right. I think that's everything we need to say. Does anyone here have any questions from the judges or Evo?
Yeah. You guys say you guys are using RAG, but how did you embed this into a vector space? And why are you not referencing it as well? If this is referenced from a manual book, would you not reference where you're getting your embeddings from?
Oh, yeah.
You can take this.
So, yeah, that's a good question. Very first question I want to give you, like we are using the vector database, which is ChromaDB, which is using so a main concept is to store everything into the local system, and we don't want any whether it's a treatment or any information on the patient to get shared with any third party. So our very first thing was to whether we are using LLM, it should be locally, embedding everything should be locally. The same thing goes here. Our ChromaDB, everything is locally.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, what embedding model are you using to convert it to vectors, to store it in vector store?
So it's like we are using like OLAMA, and we have just used the embedding system of Nomic.
OLAMA is not a model.
It's not a model, but it's extension. But there is one script which are running that converts this text to the embedding model, which is compatible to like Gemini has its own, like OpenAI has its own embedding model. We fetch the Nomic text inputs model, the embedding model that we are using, which is like open source. So we have used OLAMA to run it locally and then convert the text into the embedding, and then we have pushed it into the ChromaDB.
Okay, but you're still not answering my question. What embedding model are you using?
Nomics, yeah.
It's the Nomic text model running on Llama.
Yeah.
The actual large language model we're using is Gamma 3B.
Gamma 3B.
Gamma B. Okay, thanks.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said a lot of details there. You got lost in translation.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry for
I
that.
asked a really simple question. I didn't have to go down.
Yeah, I just mentioned two times the Nomic, but I think so I'm not loud and clear. Maybe that is the reason.
Look, we have scores here. It's a serious operation.
Like, especially if you have your code working,
Yeah.
I have to dig into you because you've done a good job on getting it working. So I need to try to see what are your weaknesses, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Maybe my accent or maybe something is I missed out there. So sorry about that.
Question from.
Yeah. Can I send more than one message to this thing, or do I just tell it myself?
Just,
Um,
yeah, of course.
type whatever you want.
course
like
you can,
patient.
Keep context though.
Yeah, so what I'm wondering about is like, okay, I've sent
Edit
this
this
message,
one, okay? This.
but you have the immediate response. If
Yeah.
I type another message,
Yep.
what
It
happens
should
to this
go.
message?
So
Bro,
it will maintain the history of the conversation for the session.
Just.
Can you show me?
Yep. Just remove the chest pin or maybe just write something.
Okay.
Else. Given prompt.
Do you want to give any nausea?
Like we have a notion.
Yeah, we can write that the patient still is experiencing the chest pain.
Like this one. Chest pain we have done, right?
Diarrhea.
No, he still has the chest pain. That's for context,
Oh,
for
okay.
example.
So I think we would have to
And-
edit after this. Edit after this here.
So you want to continue with the same symptoms or
Oh, wait,
like
wait,
you're
wait.
saying the follow-up questions? Oh, I see.
Suppose I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so and we didn't design in such a way that it takes up the follow-up for now because it requires a lot of like.
So I can't have like a text thread. I can only ask it a single question.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you can ask
Yeah.
attention. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Any more question, guys? From audience?
I have a question. Where did you guys decide to get this medical document from? Never heard of it, but like you said, it was first cited in 1899.
1899. Yeah. Yeah. It's simply one of the most reputable sources of information for medical diagnosis. So why not? And 4,000 pages as well. So you can't beat that.
Are you in the medical field? Or
No, I'm an engineer.
Or you're just a big fan of this book?
Research, basically. Research. I just,
The
yeah.
Bible, yeah.
Yeah, the Bible for medicine, yeah. If there was a Bible for engineering, I'd be using that as a civil engineer, but I just randomly needed to find something. So, yeah. If there was a Bible for computer science or agentic AI with all the frameworks or something like that.
Great. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.